There is a very specific, quiet kind of exhaustion that comes from trying to walk backward. You may not notice it at first. Sometimes it begins with a photograph, a version of you from 3 or 5 or 10 years ago, a different posture, an easier smile, a kind of certainty you remember more clearly than you probably lived it. You miss that person, their energy, their rhythm, the way certain things seem to fit without so much effort. Or someone who loves you looks at you after a difficult season and says, warmly, "It's so good to see you getting back to your old self." They mean it kindly. And still, something in the sentence does not quite land, because you are not getting back to anything. Somewhere along the way, a former version of you became the destination, the place you were supposed to reach once things settled. Once you had rested enough, recovered enough, tried hard enough. So you begin measuring the present against a person who no longer has to live here. You try an old routine again, the one that used to organize your mornings, or your work, or the way you spent a Friday night. You expect the old rhythm to return with it. But the rhythm feels borrowed now. Maybe you can still perform it. Maybe you can still make the old jokes, keep the old pace, wear the old clothes, stay out as late, carry as much. And afterward, you are tired in a way the photograph cannot explain. It is easy to read that difference as failure, to think you have lost some essential part of yourself, your edge, your lightness, your appetite for things. But perhaps the exhaustion is coming from the comparison itself. From asking the life you have now to prove itself against a life that is already complete. Missing who you were is real. There may be things about that person you still love. Their nerve, their ease, the way they trusted a future you can no longer see in quite the same way. You do not have to pretend those things are meaningless just because time has moved. But missing someone is not the same as being called to become them. Grief is an emotion, not a set of instructions. The photograph can remain a photograph. The old routine can remain something that once fit. The clothes can stay folded away without becoming evidence in a case against who you are now. You can carry forward what was true in that earlier life without rebuilding the whole room around it. And whoever you are becoming does not have to feel familiar immediately. There may be no clean moment when the new version of your life introduces itself. No morning when you wake up and think, there you are. It may happen more quietly than that. You stop forcing one old habit back into place. You notice that a different pace no longer feels like a lesser one. You look at the photograph and, for once, do not treat it like a set of instructions. You do not need to become your old self again. You can miss them. You can be grateful for what they carried. And you can stop asking them to be the place you return to.